Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of Screen Facts with Jason Davis, your movie trivia and discussion podcast. Please like the Facebook page. Leave your comments or questions there as well. It's facebook.com/screenfacts. You can also tweet me at Jason Davis Voice or email screenfacts@yahoo.com if you'd prefer to give us your feedback that way. Please rate, comment, and subscribe on iTunes to automatically get new episodes every Wednesday. And a special thanks to Minnie Cano for the great review that you left for us on iTunes. We appreciate it. Well, joining me once again on the podcast is my brother from another mother, Tim Donnelly.
Hey-o.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good. Good to have you again.
Great to be back.
Always a pleasure to have you to discuss another fine film.
Oh, yeah. I'm especially looking forward to this one. Great classic comedy from the 80s.
Absolutely. We talked about doing a podcast for this movie a while back.
Yeah, we did. It's a while in the working.
And then it magically was superseded by Rocky Balboa.
Right. Rocky beat Rodney in a fight.
Well, it was because Creed came out, and we wanted to talk about Rocky Balboa to coincide with the release of Creed. Right. We're going to talk about one of three Rodney Dangerfield movies that I think is worthwhile.
The Holy Trinity.
There's the three, yeah. So there's Easy Money.
Right.
There's Caddyshack.
Caddyshack.
And of course,
Back to School.
Yes, indeed. Released June 13th, 1986. Holy shit, 30 years old.
Stop it.
Another great movie that's turning 30.
Wow.
Soon, anyway.
Yeah.
Directed by Alan Metter. The story for the movie was written by Rodney.
Right.
Also, Greg Fields and Dennis Snee. Screenplay by Stephen Catman, William Porter, Peter Torokvei, and Harold Ramis.
Moment of silence. The late, great Harold Ramis.
Yeah. In fact, in the original script, Rodney's character was supposed to be poor.
Yes, that's right.
And it was Harold Ramis that said they should make him rich.
Ramis suggested it. Yeah,
and that's,
good call.
I mean, this movie would not be nearly as good if it wasn't like Rodney throwing money around. Hey,
No,
Shakespeare for everyone.
Right. That's essential
amazing.
to the plot, that he's kind of this rich guy who throws his money around.
Rodney Dangerfield is the star of the movie. And,
yes.
And really, as far as I'm concerned, this is his best movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would say either this or Caddyshack. Maybe give this an edge over Caddyshack because Caddyshack has multiple stars in the movie, but this, he carries this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's definitely more of a supporting guy in Caddyshack. This is definitely a Rodney Dangerfield movie.
Yes.
And what's kind of amazing, too, is that, I mentioned all the people that were involved in the screenplay, but there's a lot of lines in this movie that sound like things he would have written.
Sure, I don't doubt it. Or maybe we're improv on the spot.
Yeah,
by Rodney.
or maybe the way the writing credit works is that you have to do a certain amount in order to get credit. I'm not sure.
Who knows? Yeah, I'm not sure either.
He was nominated for an American Comedy Award for his performance in this as well.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, very funny. Sally Kellerman, Burt Young. This might be the only other thing I've seen Burt Young in besides the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done other stuff.
Yeah,
right?
he's been in other stuff. I've seen him in other
TV,
stuff.
maybe?
He's done some TV, and he's done bit part, character acting in some other movies.
Yeah.
He's out there.
He's still alive and well.
Yeah, still alive and kicking.
He's painting now.
Did he paint the painting in Rocky Balboa?
The paintings in Rocky Balboa were actually Burt Young originals. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and you can actually buy his artwork. He's online. You can find him on Facebook and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so he's still around. Keith Gordon, who the only other thing I remember seeing him in was Christine.
Christine, yeah.
As the dorky guy that buys the car.
Right, and gets possessed.
Yeah. A young Robert Downey Jr.
Very young Robert Downey Jr. This might have been, and you can fact check me on this might have been the year that he got Saturday Night Live.
I believe he was actually a cast member, of Saturday Night Live.
His
when
first
they were
and
filming this.
only year as a cast member on SNL.
Yeah, and wasn't he on the same year as Anthony Michael Hall?
I think so, yeah.
Which is also interesting because they work together in Weird Science.
In Weird Science, right.
Ned Beatty, always great. M. Emmett Walsh.
Yeah, as the diving coach.
The great 80s bad guy, William Zabka.
Billy Zabka.
We've talked about on the Karate Kid podcast.
Talk about the Holy Trinity. This is his third bad guy role in a string of 80s classics. You got Johnny Lawrence, Karate Kid 1984, Greg Tolan in Just One of the Guys 1985, and of course, Chaz Osborne in Back to School 1986.
There you go. And the beautiful Terry Farrell.
Yes, as the love interest.
She's like probably 2 or 3 inches taller than Keith Gordon.
Keith Gordon, yeah. And they don't make any attempt to hide that
Not
in
at
the
all.
movie.
Not at all.
Valerie Desmond.
Yep. $11 million budget. It grossed $91.2 million and then another $42 million in rentals.
Yeah,
So,
respectable.
yeah, this was, I would imagine, Rodney's most successful movie.
Now, I always ask you when we do these podcasts, did you see Back to School in the theaters?
I did.
Me too.
This was a great time to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Especially if you were a teenager that just started driving and stuff, because, this is where me being a couple years older than you comes in a little bit sometimes. I had, a group of friends that I worked with at one of my first jobs, and it wasn't uncommon for us to all get together and go see a movie.
Sure.
This was one of the movies I remember seeing. It was like this, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. But I think the reason I remember this and Ferris Bueller is because they both had Twist and Shout.
Okay.
Which was very interesting because they both came out around the same time.
Right.
And for them to both have Twist and Shout was
different
very
versions of Twist and
very,
Shout.
Very different
versions.
Yes.
Yeah.
This version is hilarious. I mean, Rodney Dangerfield singing is always funny.
Yeah, I remember the video for this on MTV, the Back to School version of Twist and Shout.
Very funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So let's talk about the music in the movie really quick.
All right.
There's a couple of sort of cool footnotes. So before we started recording, we were talking a little bit about the title track.
Right. I was singing it on the way down the stairs to your studio.
I kid you not. When I knew I was going to be watching this again to prepare for the podcast, in my head it started going. That is one thing that we've talked about on the podcast before. 80s movies always had cool music.
Killer soundtracks, dude.
They always had
Killer
music
soundtracks.
Associated. Nowadays, I don't feel like they do that as much.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just because I'm so old now.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not as attuned to it.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Yeah, I think...
I mean, I owned the Karate Kid soundtrack on cassette, dude.
Nice.
I had the soundtrack on cassette.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I never probably would have imagined myself buying the soundtrack to a movie like this.
Sure.
Because there wasn't like the big hit in it or whatever.
Right. Really no big hits. I mean, unless you count Respect.
Yeah, but that's...
not a contemporary hit.
Right, and it's not really... The movie's not centered around that.
No, not at all.
But I think definitely the title track, every time I watch this movie, when that song comes on, when they're taking the limo up to the college...
Lou, pack our bags. We're going up to that college to see my son.
Yeah.
And then the music kicks in.
Yeah, and it brings you right there.
It's a great tune, dude.
It's
a great tune.
And who performs that song?
Jude Cole.
Who?
A great singer-songwriter who had, I don't know if it was a major hit or a minor hit in the early 1990s, kind of a ballady song called Tell the Truth.
Okay, I'm familiar with a different song by Jude Cole that I used to play when I worked at Z95 in Charlottesville called Baby It's Tonight.
Baby It's Tonight.
Yeah.
I think I know that song too.
Okay, very good song. A fun fact about Jude Cole.
Yes, please.
He was college roommates with Kiefer Sutherland.
Stop it.
Nope. In fact, I think Kiefer Sutherland helped him finance some of his early music stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I know I saw on his Wikipedia page that he's worked with Kiefer Sutherland on some things.
That would make sense.
Over the past few years or so.
Yeah.
And Jude Cole has even, I forget if he co-wrote or co-produced some things with the band Lifehouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Great song.
Yeah, it is. It really is a great song. It really is.
And you hear it again at the end of the movie as the end credits play. The end credits begin with Aretha Franklin's Respect, which fades into Back to School, which plays out to the end of the credits.
Okay.
I just love the song.
Yeah, it's a fun, up-tempo 80s track.
Yeah, kind of 80s pop rock
Absolutely.
song. Great stuff.
It's something that would have fit perfectly on a Richard Marx album. And I mean that as a compliment.
No, absolutely,
I'm
dude.
a huge Richard Marx fan.
I'm a big Richard Marx fan. I'm going to see him next month.
Oh, cool. Another song that has a prominent little spot in the movie comes later on when they go to the fraternity party.
Right, the party in the dorm.
And playing on the turntable, no less.
Turntables.
Is a song by Michael Bolton, of all people, called Everybody's Crazy.
Everybody's Crazy.
Now, this is a song, it was a title track of an actual Michael Bolton album when he was a rock guy. I mean, he had, I think, just two albums.
Okay.
Where he was kind of like a hard rock guy, sort of like Journey-esque.
Okay. That song, Fool's Game?
Fool's Game. That was from his debut.
The name of the album that it was on?
Actually, it was a self-titled album.
Okay.
Just called Michael Bolton.
I remember the video for that. We're old enough to remember when MTV actually played videos.
Yeah. MTV is going to be 35 in August. Isn't that fun?
Moving on. Moving on. I don't need to know this.
Isn't that amazing? The hard rock Michael Bolton didn't last long, and then, of course, he went on to great success as a balladeer.
Yes, he did.
and has polarized people ever since.
Yeah, he has.
The interesting thing about the song Everybody's Crazy, the lead guitar player on that track is none other than Bruce Kulick, who was in a group with him prior to him being a solo artist called Blackjack.
Okay.
And so they have a history together. In fact, that's how Michael Bolton came about to co-write Forever for Kiss with
Oh, wow.
Paul Stanley. But yeah, so Bruce Kulick is the lead guitar player, and he played in Kiss for 12 years in the 80s and early 90s. Pretty cool. And it's cool because the guitar solo is featured in the movie.
Okay.
It's kind of neat that like that part of the song is what plays. So, and he did a lot of guitar work on the 2 Michael Bolton records that were more rock oriented.
It's good stuff, man. No, this is why you tune into the podcast.
I
You
hope
get
so.
These interesting little factoids.
I know at least
It's
one
good stuff.
person that's going to enjoy that one. I'm talking to you, Blazer.
You mean besides you?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so and continuing with the music theme, another big scene in the movie, of course, is the big blowout that Thornton Mellon throws in the dorm room with a cameo from the band Oingo Boingo.
Campus security comes and brings the beer.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later because there's an interesting little fact about the beer and why they had to have a specific kind of beer.
I totally know where you're going with this, but
talk
we'll
about
get
this
to that
later.
in a little
We'll
bit.
get to it later.
And the other thing, too, Danny Elfman, lead singer of Oingo Boingo, actually scores the movie, too.
Yes.
His scoring is featured predominantly in the beginning of the movie. There's a big montage of the movie opens with Thornton Mellon as a child, played by Jason Hervey. He goes to his dad's tailor shop.
Right.
Shows him the report card. What kind of marks is this?
Right. Are you going to go to college with grades like this?
So he does the thing with the collar like Rodney would do. So,
and then the montage of him growing up.
Right.
And you see through the montage how he becomes successful, scored to Danny Elfman's music.
Right. And there's a picture in that opening montage showing Rodney Dangerfield golfing, which is taken directly from Caddyshack.
Directly from Caddyshack.
Which is very funny. This is another one of those great 80s movies with 1,000,001 awesome one-liners.
Yes.
Rodney's the king of those anyway. I mean, one of my favorite lines after the fight in the bar with the football team, his son says to him, "Did you have to take on the whole football team?"
And Rodney says,
"Oh, that football team, they're not so tough. The football team in my school, they were tough. After they sacked the quarterback, they went after his family." Great stuff.
That's got to be something that Dangerfield wrote.
It's
right?
got to be.
Assume?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, that, and then there's a line where he says, "This college is beautiful. It's everything I pictured when I used to dream about going to college.
When did you dream about going to college?
When I used to fall asleep in high school."
Right.
You know, like that sounds something right out of his...
They're so natural.
Yeah.
So natural.
One of the things about Rodney that people don't even realize or appreciate probably is how great of a stand-up comic he was.
Yeah.
You and I probably grew up watching a lot of those HBO specials where it was like the young comedian specials.
Right. Rodney Dangerfield's young comedian special from Dangerfield's Comedy Club in New York City.
Rodney worked as a stand-up comic. On those specials, he was sort of the MC, but he still would do stand-up every once in a while,
Sure.
even after his movie career was so successful. And I can't remember who it was, but I was listening to a podcast with another comic recently, and they were talking about how they saw Rodney. They were so in awe of his work ethic because they saw him go up unannounced somewhere, trying out some new material, and he kind of got whatever kind of response he got, came back a couple weeks later with the same jokes, tightened up, got a bigger laugh.
And killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point being that he always was working on his craft, even later on in his life. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
When you hear stuff like that. So anyway.
He could have rested on his laurels.
Exactly.
But he didn't.
He could have done the same, hey, no respect. Hey, I'm all right now, but last week I was on rough shape. That kind of stuff.
Right. He probably could have coasted on that for the rest of his career.
Exactly. But he was always coming up. I mean, most of his material when he did stand-up was probably similar kind of stuff like that.
Sure.
But he still would work a joke and refine it. So that's very cool.
One of the other things very cool that I heard about Rodney Dangerfield is that he was a big fan of introducing and supporting new young comedians, as evidenced by the Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedian special. I mean, like you said before, we're old enough to remember watching those on HBO. That was the first time on one of his comedy specials. I think that was the first time I ever saw Jerry Seinfeld, Yakov Smirnoff, Bob Saget, Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison's a big one.
Who we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes. Andrew Dice Clay, I saw for the first time on one of Rodney's specials. And Bob Nelson, got my helmet and my shoulder pads. I remember all those guys on Rodney's show.
You can actually get the DVDs of all those specials. They're real on Amazon. I have them, actually.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's fun to go back and watch it, especially when you see the guys that went on to become huge superstars.
Yeah, Tim Allen, too, I think, right?
Yeah, probably Roseanne Barr.
And Roseanne
Yeah,
Barr,
I mean, you
sure.
name it. They all, Rodney probably helped them all.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things about his reputation was that he had a reputation for being very supportive and very giving toward other comics. And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it makes me love him even more.
I would have to think that it's probably because of the way he came up. I mean, he started very young, writing jokes and stuff. And he probably saw people getting shit on. And, maybe he just wanted to pay it forward. Talk about Sam Kinison getting his first big stand-up break through Rodney.
Yeah.
This movie was probably a huge boost for him.
Let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
That sequence. One of the most famous scenes in the movie.
Yeah, Sam Kinison, of course, plays Professor Turgison.
He's really committed. In fact, I think he was.
Exactly. I think originally he wasn't the first person that they were talking about to play the role in this movie.
No, Jim Carrey was, believe it or not, was the first person considered.
And talk about another guy when he first started out, was a great stand-up.
Yeah.
They thought he was too young to play the professor.
Right.
Sam definitely had a certain look about him.
Yeah.
Really a major loss to the comic world.
Big time.
He was awesome.
Yeah, I loved Sam Kinison. I'll never forget his routine the first time I saw him on Rodney Dangerfield about
Ethiopia.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a classic. That one you can look up.
Go where the food is.
Yeah, I'm sure you can look that one up on YouTube also. Yeah. When he did that spot on the comedy special on HBO.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Oh, big time.
I mean, you want to talk about igniting a fire in somebody's career?
I'd never seen anything like that before. I'd never heard anything like that before. I'd never seen anything like him before.
It was amazing.
It was great.
It was incredible.
We talk about a tornado.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. Sam Kinison's story is a pretty cool one, too.
Yeah.
So apparently when they were filming the scene, though, Rodney's laughing when he's...
If you look closely, you can see Rodney Dangerfield's laughing if you look.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's got to be hard to keep a straight face when you got Sam Kinison, right up in your grill,
in your face doing that. And they got to do multiple takes from multiple angles. So he's yelling right in Rodney's face multiple times. I'd probably lose it too.
All right, so he decides that he's going to go back to school. He's gonna go to the university to help his son Jason. Good name. Get his act together. He wants to, his son wants to quit school, and he said, "Don't quit. I'll come here. I'll help you. We'll do it together.
We'll do it together."
A great premise for a movie,
right?
It's really funny.
Thornton Mellon, the world's oldest living freshman.
So he's in the English class, and his professor is played by Sally Kellerman.
Sally Kellerman.
And of course, he's smitten with her right away. And another great exchange is when he waits for her after the first class, and he's trying to ask her out on a date.
Right.
And, I'm sorry, I can't. I have class that night.
Oh, perhaps you can call me sometime when you have no class. And he just delivers the line so earnestly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great exchanges between those two characters in the movie. So the house that Diane lives in, Sally Kellerman's character.
Right. We've seen that house before,
yes,
right?
Yes. It was actually the Doyle house where Jamie Lee Curtis babysat in Halloween.
The horror classic. And speaking of places that we've seen before, toward the end of the movie when Thornton is taking his 3-hour oral exams, he takes those exams in the same room as Alex Owens does her dance audition in Flashdance.
Yep.
Same room. Alex Owens, of course, played by Jennifer Beals, although I don't think played by Jennifer Beals in that dance sequence.
No, definitely not.
You can pretty much see that it's not her.
Wouldn't it be funny if Rodney Dangerfield did a dance like that? So most of the outdoor scenes at the college were shot on location at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So there is no Grand Lakes University?
There is no Grand Lakes University.
Home of the Hooters?
Home of the Hooters!
So... why do you think it was a diving team that was featured in this movie? Do we know? My only guess is that they really wanted to feature Rodney Dangerfield doing the triple Lindy in the movie. And the whole thing kind of, climaxes with that.
Right, with the triple Lindy, which is cool because in the movie, Rodney Dangerfield, he gives a shout out to Atlantic City.
Right.
In our home state, he talks, I used to dive off the Steel Pier in Atlantic City. Steel Pier's still there in Atlantic City, so that was kind of cool. But didn't Rodney Dangerfield, wasn't he a diver?
Yes, he was a trick diver. So I'm wondering if he requested that be a part of the plot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
It's so funny because when you're watching him do the triple Lindy, it's so obvious. And of course.
Of course.
But it's so obvious that it's not him doing the dive. And I love the shots that they take of him during the dive.
Yes.
The cutaway shots.
The cutaway shots of him close up making faces and bouncing up and down.
So funny.
That's good stuff.
The triple Lindy.
The triple Lindy.
So there's also a menu item at the restaurant Moe's Southwest Grill called the Triple Lindy.
That's
in honor
right.
of the time too. Which I don't really know what Moe's has anything to do with back to school.
I have no stinking clue.
We mentioned earlier about the beer in the movie.
Right. We're talking about Danny Elfman and Oingo Boingo. They play the party, and campus security shows up, and Professor Balbe is relieved that finally someone with good taste has come to stop the party, and it turns out that the campus cops are bringing beer.
Right.
And what kind of beer are they bringing?
They're bringing light beer and Miller beer.
Miller and Miller Lite.
Right.
Contractually obligated to bring Miller and Miller Lite. Talk about being old enough to remember. Remember those Miller beer commercials with the celebrities and Rodney Dangerfield and the athletes and the whole less filling, tastes great, less filling, tastes great. Remember that stuff?
Some of the greatest ads ever. You talk about all the ads that come out for the Super Bowl now. Everybody looks forward to them. These were huge, these ads.
Yeah.
And again, you can look them up on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
One that always comes to mind, because you and I, we like to go bowling occasionally. There's a bowling one where they're like, one pin, Rodney.
We only need one pin, Rodney.
So Rodney Dangerfield goes to bowl. Mm-hmm. It's a full rack of pins. Mm-hmm. He rolls the ball. It hits the head pin, bounces off the head pin, goes into the gutter, and they don't get the win. And that's what. And it was always something like that happening to Rodney in the commercials.
Very funny stuff.
Yeah. So Rodney was under contract to not be able to drink other brands of beer on camera.
Right.
So anytime Rodney's drinking a beer, it's either a Miller or a Miller Lite.
Right.
That's something to look for next time you watch the movie.
Yep.
So let's talk about some of the other funny moments with Rodney and some of the other people in the movie.
Yes.
He's such a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's worked hard for every penny he has.
He still has a great everyman quality to him.
He's a guy that you could hang out with,
Sure.
and party with.
Right. But the poor guy in his own house, he can't get a beer.
Right. No cerveza.
Mrs. Meloni gave his strict orders. No cerveza. My own house, I can't get a beer.
So he gets the beer, and then he goes up to the food table. Mm-hmm. And he takes the big loaf of bread, he cuts it in half, and he starts making a sandwich out of all the hors d'oeuvres.
Right.
It's like meatballs, something else, and deviled eggs, all in the sandwich.
What is that? I learned this in Europe. Or something like that.
He has the guy hold it so he can cut it.
Put your hand here. I learned this in Europe.
So then he goes out to the patio by the pool.
Yeah.
And he's eating his sandwich. He doesn't want to be bothered with his wife, who he can't
all
stand.
his friends who they come here for free drinks, free food, and they suck up to you for donations.
Right, exactly. So he's just sitting there just trying to eat his sandwich in peace, have his beer. Mm-hmm. He's not bothering anybody. And then his wife, played by Adrienne Barbeau, comes over, and she's like trying to make an impression on this older couple.
Millicent, you look lovely.
Isn't that a lovely shade of green, Thornton?
Yeah, that dress had pockets. You'd look like a pool table. You should try my tall and fat stores. No offense. And she's just livid. Before that, when he goes into the house to get a beer, he opens the fridge, he gets a beer, and he hears his wife fooling around with some guy at the party. Mr. Mellon, we were just looking for some cocktail napkins. Yeah, where? Under her dress? And he then goes into the other room, and there's this artsy-fartsy guy looking at a painting by Gustav Klimt. And he goes, Mr. Mellon, your wife was just showing us her Klimt. Oh, you too, huh? She's been showing it to everybody. She's very proud of it. Yeah, I'm proud of mine. Don't go waving it around at parties.
And then after the party, she's going to threaten him with divorce because he embarrassed her in front of her friends, right?
I love that he already has the divorce papers drawn. He just reaches into his coat pocket. He goes, yeah, I thought knew we had something in common. Here sign these.
And then she's like, oh, no, it's going to cost you plenty. He goes, oh, you want to talk about that? Okay. Right. And he pulls out a stack of Polaroids.
Right. Let's talk about class for a second. Here's you and Giorgio in a rumpus room. Hey, this one I can't figure out. There's you, there's Giorgio. What's with the midget in here? And then she goes to walk away, and he goes, no, wait, there's more. Oh, he's so good.
So funny.
So great.
Funny.
And then after that, and this might be one of my top 3 favorite lines in the movie. He dives in a pool, and he says to Lou, Lou goes, what happened in there? And Thornton says, I just got rid of Vanessa. He goes, oh, I tell you, I feel like I've just been paroled. I don't know why, man. That line kills me every time. It's just so funny. I feel like I've just been paroled.
So, and it's funny because there's even some funny lines from some of the other characters in the movie, too.
Yeah.
After Jason has a falling out with his dad, he's kind of like mad at him because he has his homework done by NASA and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, he's confronted by Burt Young's character, by Lou. And Lou says, hey, your father loves you. You should be good to him, and he says, well, he doesn't know when to stop. He goes, your father's a good guy. He's nice and he's tough. Like me, I'm nice and I'm tough. I'll give you an example. I put one of my sons through college. The other I put through a wall.
Your dad's looking out for you.
Yeah.
Try looking out for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a nice heart to the movie as well.
Definitely.
Another great line from the movie when they're in the college bar on campus. I think he says to the waitress, bring a pitcher of beer every 7 minutes until somebody passes out, and then bring one every 10 minutes.
Then right after that, the football player wants to kick Derek's ass for crashing the pep rally. Hey, let's see, protruding super powerful ridges. Small cranium, 1300 cc, right?
Neanderthal man. You call his mother. You tell her he's never coming home.
Yeah. You sure you got the right guy? You know how many people have blue hair these days?
Shut up.
The war's over. Get new parts for your head.
Right. Oh, you want to make something of it?
No, I never get physical. I get upset. When I get upset, he gets physical.
Luge crunches the napkin container.
It's funny. You don't really think of Burt Young, because you see him as Paulie, as being a tough guy, but he's very good in this movie.
No, he's terrific. Everybody is.
Yeah, and then he just levels the guy with a shot to the gut.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really, really funny stuff in the movie. Rodney is hitting his stride big time in this flick. It's just a fun movie.
It is. It's a lot of fun. You'll smile from start to finish. It's got a lot of funny lines, and as we said before, it's also got heart to it.
One of the things that I wanted to mention too, at the end, right before the credits start rolling, there's this message. It says, For Estelle, thanks so much. And it's a dedication to Estelle Endler, Rodney Dangerfield's manager and one of the executive producers of the film, who died during production.
Okay.
So, I don't want to quote every single line in the movie.
Oh, we could go on.
I know.
We could go on. There's so many great lines to quote. And maybe we should end it here. You elitist fraternity scumbag.
Hey, wait a minute.
You're the farthest thing from it.
Aw, thanks, man.
You nouveau riche little flea.
Whatever that means. That's like Zeo Maxi Zoom Dweeby.
Neo Maxi Zoom Dweeby. What would you be doing if you weren't out making yourself a better citizen?
Brother, I appreciate you coming in. Always fun to do these with you.
Always a lot of fun. And doing these with you brings back a lot of nice memories.
Absolutely.
I mean, the talking about it with you and just kind of getting to hang out with you and do what you and I normally do anyway is just talk about movies and laugh and have a good time, but it really brings back a lot of nice memories. So thanks for having me. Always great to be here with you.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And thanks to you for listening. And don't forget to check us out online. Remember, the Facebook page is facebook.com/screenfacts. Leave your comments and questions there. Also, you can tweet me at Jason Davis Voice. You can also email us, screenfacts@yahoo.com. You can stream us online at wickedradionetwork.com as well. And you can also check out our announcer, Kim, on her website, kimsvoice.com. It's KYMSvoice.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Screen Facts with Jason Davis is a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. Visit jasondavisvoice.com if you need a voice for a commercial, narration, promo, internet video, e-learning or training program, and more. Click on the podcast page to get information about where you can download and listen to past episodes. Listen again next Wednesday for a new episode of Screen Facts with Jason Davis.